Hey, so we are making today the cashew cheese sauce, and of course, we're going to be using cashews as our main ingredient and also nutritional yeast. But I wanted to share a little bit about the importance of why should we try to stay away from gluten and not from gluten from dairy, because at the end of the day, that's the whole point of this class, right? If we're trying to find a little bit of a replacement, um, so that whenever we do see cheese and we do see like a pasta, we have some kind of a sauce that we can use it because we all love saucy stuff. So this is why. Now, I want to mention that the cashews specifically, they have a lot of copper and magnesium. And copper, it's a key component for us to process either the iron that we're getting in, eliminating the free radicals that can be caused because of leading a very stressful life. And also magnesium is key for the health of our bones. And also it allows us to relax as well. So 2/3 of, I don't know if you knew this, but 2/3 of magnesium in the human body are found in the bones. So a lot of people think calcium is important, but magnesium is also very important. So that's why we're using cashews as one of our main ingredients. Also, nutritional yeast, you can find a little bit of controversy. However, the information that I found and that I rely on from my different mentors is the fact that nutritional yeast has a lot of vitamin B. It also is a good protein, and it also has fiber. So you can do a little bit more research, but my conclusion was that unless somebody has like yeast allergy, or they had sensitivity to candida issues, it could be a good immune boosting properties, which is very timely as we're dealing with this whole coronavirus. So, and then the other thing that I was going to mention about dairy, as you know, dairy, most of us don't necessarily have the enzyme that allows us to process and digest dairy in a good way. And so the consumption of casein, which is a protein that is found in milk, it contributes to the dysfunction of our GI, gastrointestinal tract. And so it continues to help us, not help us, but it continues to make us feel bloated and inflamed. And there is an important study that has been done, and 65% of the population is not even able to digest lactose. Plus, if you add all the hormones and the antibiotics that are used to feed the cows that we're getting the milk from, this can also lead to inflammation. So the whole point is that casein, just like just as the protein that is in gluten, the gliadin, the casein is the same in dairy. And if the internal lining of our small intestine is like this, I always use the explanation of a brick wall. If we're getting the casein in and essentially we're not able to digest it properly, they're trying to break this brick wall, and it's going into our bloodstream, and that causes us to feel inflamed. So that's why gluten and dairy are so important, that we try to stay away from them. If we're working in this kind of like anti-inflammatory protocols, or even these gut healing protocols. Any questions, or is it pretty is it pretty clear? I think you've heard this a while, like a long time by now, right, Maria? Like I've been working for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna start with the onion. So I'm gonna double the recipe. The recipe is made for just half of an onion and just half a cup of cashews, but I'm gonna do it double because might as well keep the sauce and then have more. So it's it's one onion, actually a white onion. And then we also have 2 cloves of garlic. And we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and we're gonna put it in the saucepan. And we're gonna start cooking the onion and the garlic a little bit before we start to blend it with the cashews. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that. It's supposed to be a very simple sauce. If you have the cashews already, then it's pretty easy. Now, the thing is, we gotta make sure the cashews are soaked at least for 4 hours. But it does get very creamy, and it's very nice. So I'm gonna add just olive oil. And my saucepan is not at super high levels. It is at medium high, because we know that olive oil, it's great for medium heat. But if you're gonna do something more than 500 Fahrenheit, something a little bit more fried, a little bit more that requires it to be a little bit more hot, then avocado oil is better. It's not going to iodize as quickly as the olive oil. But since I'm not going to fry the onions as much, I can just put it into medium to like a medium temperature. The olive oil is going to be able to hold it pretty well. But again, for anything more than medium heat, like very high heat, you want to make sure you have something like avocado oil or even ghee or coconut oil, because they do have a lot of saturated fat that it can take that heat. So good to know. Do you usually use coconut oil or, I mean?
Coconut oil normally, and yeah, coconut oil or olive oil, depending.
Perfect.
And ghee. I normally do the ghee.
The ghee is perfect. It also, because it has a little saturated fat, and ghee, a lot of people ask me, is it ghee like dairy free? And the reality is, since it is a clarified butter, we do remove that casein that is so annoying and is so inflammatory for internal system. So ghee, it's a great way to replace butter.
Yeah.
So I'm cooking the onions here and the garlic. Now also make sure you use wooden spoon instead of the plastic, because we all know kind of like the issues with the plastic, and they can be cancerous. Okay, yes. Let's look at the recipe now. What do we have next? So now we are going to drain the cashews, and this is an important, and then we're gonna put it in a blender. So a lot of people ask me, what do we do with the water that they've been soaking in? And the idea is that we are going to rinse it and not use that water because it's been sitting there for a while. So we're just gonna rinse them and then add them into my NutriBullet, and like half of them were outside. And then I have my other cup here. So I'm gonna remove it. And then cashews, like I said, you don't need to really do it for an overnight. You can do it for 4 hours and it's still gonna be pretty nice. So that's what I like about cashews versus like almonds. Almonds usually take a little bit longer. So I'm gonna do half of my cashews in here because I don't think it's gonna fit, and then the other half in the second batch. Okay, so we're gonna add the cashews to the blender, and then we're gonna add the nutritional yeast, the mustard, the garlic and the nutmeg and the salt and pepper, and milk. We also need milk, and then we're gonna blend it. And then that's it. It's super easy to make. It's really just frying the onions and the garlic. I'm using oat milk for my sauce. You could use almond milk, cashew milk, whatever you want to. So I want to check here. We need 1 cup. Okay, nutritional yeast is about 1/4 of a cup. So it does smell kind of cheesy. So this nutritional yeast is what really gives that cheesy flavor into it. And it's like 1 cup, 1/4 of a cup. So I'm gonna be adding that to the cashews. Then it's 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I don't have Dijon mustard. My husband doesn't like it. So I'm gonna add rice vinegar, which should give it a little bit of that kind of like vinaigrette taste. But if you like mustard, you can do that. Then I'm gonna add 1 cup of my oat milk. The oat milk, it's not vanilla. Make sure it's not vanilla flavor, because then you're gonna end up with a vanilla flavored cashew sauce. It's pretty normal. So we're adding 1 cup in here too. And then we're gonna add the salt and pepper. So a little bit of pepper too. And then the key ingredient is also the nutmeg, which I forgot, but I have it here. So ideally, you want to, like I have the whole nutmeg, you can buy in whole the powder. But if you get the whole, then you can like, which is what I'm gonna do because it's fresher, with your not grinder, but what do you call it? The shredder, when you shred something?
Right.
Yeah, the shredder, if I can find. There's nothing like the taste of fresh shredded nutmeg. So delicious. So this, and then it goes like this. And then we're gonna just add a little bit. Depending on how much you like nutmeg, I like it a lot, so I'm gonna add. Okay, that's it. Now the onions and the garlic are almost ready, and the idea is to keep it translucent, that it becomes that translucent color, like almost transparent. And once that's ready, then we're gonna add half of it to the blender here. And again, I'm gonna make half of this recipe now and then half later because it is not gonna fit in my entire blender. But I got half here. I'm gonna let the other one cook a little bit. And so everything in the blender, pretty easy. I'm gonna cover it and that's it, should be ready. Ah, I'm excited. Let's see. Let it blend. Look at that. Pretty cheesy. It's like a very nice consistency. I'm gonna taste it first. Really good. I think it needs more salt. Didn't put enough, and more pepper. But other than that, pretty good. And it's ready for a pasta. And it's a lot. Like it's an entire, with just one that 1 cup of the cashew, you get a lot back from your money. I'm gonna put a little bit more of vinegar because I feel like it does give a little bit of a nice taste. And then we're gonna blend again, and it should be ready. Any questions, Maria? Pretty simple, right?
No, it's pretty simple. Then you use that with
I'm gonna show you.
Any kind of
Gluten-free pasta, of course.
Okay.
Yes. So here, this is my favorite. These are cauliflower gnocchi from Trader Joe's.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah, so you can, basically the ingredients are cauliflower, cassava flour, potato starch, virgin oil, and sea salt. So of course it's gonna be gluten-free. And so they come frozen, you add some sauce, and you're good to go. That's what I would be doing. And they also come in like a kale version of it. But I want to show you the consistency of the sauce. I'm going to put it here in this container. Okay. Let's see. Really good. Really nice. So look, very saucy, very cheesy.
Perfect.
It's ready. Yep.
Woo-hoo!
Woo! Ready for a pasta. All right, so that's all I had.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Steph.
Thank you, Maria. We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.